State Republicans today seized on the corruption indictment of Senator Wayne Bryant to call for a special session of the legislature for ethics reform. This, as a North Jersey mayor says he'll refile some 24 ethics complaints against lawmakers. As State House correspondent Jim Hooker reports, the developments come a day after U.S. Attorney Chris Christie's office charged Bryant, the former chairman of the Senate Budget Committee.
The U.S. Attorney's announcement of the criminal indictment against veteran Senator Wayne Bryant, accused of trading state grant dollars for no-work government jobs and pension improvements, didn't come as a surprise to Bogota Mayor Steve Lonegan.
Yeah, Wayne Bryant was in the top tier of our first round of complaints and a number of others. Now,
working with a conservative nonprofit think tank he heads, Lonegan filed complaints last June with the legislature's Committee on Ethical Standards against Bryant and 34 other lawmakers, accusing them of steering state grants to employers where they had an interest and copying the U.S. Attorney's Office with those complaints. In Bryant's case, it was UMDNJ and Rutgers. For other lawmakers, it was other projects. Bergen County Senator Joe Coniglio, for example, holds a $5,000 a month plumbing contract with Hackensack University Medical Center, the recipient of extra state grants, that now is reportedly being investigated by Christie's office. Lonegan says the Ethics Committee dismissed that complaint along with 23 others. Now the mayor suspects Christie may have been paying attention.
Yeah, I believe that my complaints were important in initiating this, and I like to think that I'm glad to get it going. And clearly, we were right on message with these complaints almost a year ago when I filed them.
I think Steve Lonegan is raising questions that do need to be addressed or answered.
Political scientist David Rebovich says a number of those answers are coming through the U.S. Attorney's investigation of Christmas tree budget items in Trenton, and Rebovich says he believes it's changing the way Trenton may start doing business more than any governor's sloganeering ever could.
Legislators, out of necessity, are becoming more concerned with corruption and with influence peddling, and courtesy of Chris Christie and the U.S. Attorney's Office, looking very carefully at the budget process and seeing whether our elected officials are benefiting personally or having family members benefit personally from appropriations.
Republican legislative leaders, meanwhile, stepped up the pressure on Democrats who control the State House. Assembly Minority Leader Alex DeCroce called on Democrats to call a special session of the legislature on ethics, as they did for property taxes last summer.
We have 3 senators who have been subpoenaed, one who's been indicted, an assembly member who's been subpoenaed. We believe there are other subpoenas flying around the State House. We also know for a fact that a former assemblyman has been involved in a gambling situation. These are people who are supposed to be leading the community and being good examples, not people who are taking advantage of their positions and violating a public trust.
Assembly Speaker Joe Roberts, in a statement, didn't speak directly to the call for a special session, saying only, quote, "Yesterday's events provide a window of opportunity for this legislature to take positive action on reform. Corruption is unacceptable at any level of government, and all legislators share a responsibility to improve ethical standards in government." The governor's office issued a statement saying, "The wheels of reform are in motion. We have been working with the legislature to have a more honest, open, and transparent government, and will continue to do so." The governor's office late today noted that 2 weeks ago, Corzine signed a bill requiring jail time for convicted public officials. Another bill that stops pension boosting and tacking awaits the governor's signature and is about to become law. Corzine says he also wants a bill that bans dual office holding on his desk before he signs the budget. And another prominent state senator is under federal subpoena. Investigators are seeking past real estate records between Essex County Democrat and former Newark Mayor Sharp James and a Newark businesswoman. Now, Kent, meantime, Bryant and former UMDNJ Dean Michael Gallagher, both named in yesterday's 20-count indictment, are scheduled to appear in federal court in Trenton on Tuesday.
Okay, Jim, thank you for that report.